Welcome back, and thanks for joining us in the garden today. We are talking about something that you probably don't like to see, don't like to touch, don't even like to look at. We're talking about slugs. Now, aside from just just being a little bit gross, they also pose a big risk to your garden. So talking about, first of all, what is the damage that they can do? Why do people want to get rid of them?
Sure. Plenty of gardeners have had an issue with slugs and snails coming in at night. They don't see the damage till the next day. They will clean through your hostas, your leafy greens, strawberries especially. And they can really do a lot of damage in just a few short days. But on the flip side, they're also part of a healthy garden ecology. There are not just one slug or snail, there's several species. Some are actually predatory to other slugs. You also want them around to be part of that food chain. So people who enjoy their backyard birding, their native wildlife, slugs have a factor in that. So my approach to this is to mitigate the damage, kind of keep the numbers down with several options, organic or non-organic, naturally derived or not, but not necessarily eradicate them from the garden, because that's just going to throw your whole ecology out of whack.
Okay, so is there a certain point in time where people could maybe identify some of the damage to their garden, to their plants, where they would say, this is a problem, I need to get rid of these?
It's going to vary gardener to gardener. So some folks, if you had a plethora of, say, hostas, and you're going to get some damage here and there, it may not be that big a deal. But you also might have a crop of strawberries, and that's your backyard business. And so you absolutely can't be losing that much crop to them. So it's going to depend person to person on what they need to do and how much work they need to do to mitigate that damage.
Okay, so what are some of the ways to mitigate that damage?
Sure, so baits are probably your most common. They come in dual flavors, if we could say that. You have your organic or naturally derived ones. Sluggo Plus is widely recognized. That is going to be primarily an iron phosphate, which is the active ingredient that targets the slugs and snails. You also have some non-organic, more synthetic options, a lot of baits on the market that will target those. Sometimes they'll also target other things as well. So Sluggo Plus will go after earwigs. The difference, though, is iron phosphate on its own is pet and kid safe. It's not going to really affect them. Whereas the spinosad, even though that's naturally derived, is not an organic compound you're going to want your pets getting ingested.
Okay, and obviously, people love to head to Google, have all their DIY solutions. So what are some of those that you have seen within the Grange Co-op store, some people coming to you and saying, hey, I tried this. Does it work, or should you be getting these products?
Sure. Beer traps, soy sauce traps are probably the most popular. I've seen Vegemite traps. Really anything that's kind of fermented and ironically salty seems to attract them. The simplest thing is burying a tuna can with a little bit of that fluid just at soil level and going out every day and picking those out, dumping them out, replenishing your trap. Do that for several mornings and you'll really take down your numbers. But I've also seen more complicated traps where you're cutting a bottle inside out, you're making a funnel. Some people may really enjoy the engineering, but simply going out and just picking them as you see them, even at night, is a really quick way to knock down the numbers, and also preventing them from having that home where natural predators and such can't get to them. So space out your pots, clean out your leaf litter, make sure you're not having gaps underneath your stepping stones and your mulch where they're just going to habitate.
Okay, well, hopefully this year is an off year for people. They don't see as many, but if they do, they can head to a Grange Co-op store. So if you'd like to learn more about how to handle those slugs in your garden this year, you can head to a Grange Co-op store, or you can head to our website, KDRV.com, and we'll see you next time in the garden.